Hi students, in this video I am going to explain you the concept of simplification of context-free grammar. Normally, before converting a given context-free grammar into a normal form, we need to do certain pre-processing step. So, these are the three important pre-processing steps which we have to do: elimination of null production, elimination of unit production, and elimination of useless symbol. So, in this video we will be seeing all these three elimination with few examples. So, first we will see elimination of null production. So, here the word null specify epsilon. So, epsilon production is simply the production without any input. So, there is a difference between an epsilon and phi. So, in our grammar, if we have epsilon production, we should eliminate those epsilon production. So, in a grammar, the epsilon production specification will be shown as like this, whether the non-terminal gives a epsilon. So, here before going in detail, we should know what is a terminal and what is a non-terminal in a context-free grammar. So, in a context-free grammar, the character specified in a capital letter said to be a non-terminal, whereas a character specified in a small letter is said to be a terminal. So, even epsilon is a terminal. So, we need to for converting to the given grammar into a normal form, this epsilon production has to be eliminated. Elimination of this epsilon production is quite simple than any other task. So, let us see with an example. So, here you can see like a two grammar, S gives small a capital X or Bx. Here the small a and small b is said to be the terminal. The capital X and the capital S is said to be the non-terminal. And again the capital X gives small a or small b or an epsilon. So, before converting this grammar into a normal form, we need to remove this epsilon. For removing this epsilon, what we have to do is that we need to simply substitute the value of epsilon. Actually, capital X gives epsilon. So, we need to substitute the value of this epsilon for X in all the grammar wherever it arises. So, here actually X was there in your right hand side of your grammar. The X was written over the production of S. So, here when you put an epsilon over here, then this grammar will become A. Similarly, if I am just substituting here instead of this X, if I am substituting this epsilon over here, that will become like B. So, here I am just removing it, because the removal of this particular epsilon is our main target. If that is the case, so this is the answer, very simple. Wherever this epsilon is there, X is there, because X gives epsilon. So, wherever this capital X is there, if we substitute it and if we whatever the remaining production is there, if we are just appending into our grammar, that is the removal of null production. So, this is a very easy example. So, that is what I have written. There is only one null production in this grammar, that is X gives epsilon. To eliminate this X gives epsilon, change the production containing S in the right hand side. The production X in the right hand side of S gives AX and BX. So, while I am substituting epsilon over here and over here, we will be getting like a two new production, S gives A and S gives B. Just append it over here and remove this epsilon from your grammar. So, this is the way we can eliminate the null production. So, let me take another very big example, that is S gives capital A, B and C, where A gives some grammar with an epsilon and B gives some grammar with an epsilon, then C gives like small c. So, let me just write this over here. Okay. So, now instead of A, I can substitute epsilon. So, if I am substituting epsilon here, if I am substituting epsilon over here, So what happened? My remaining production will be BAC. Same way, if I am substituting epsilon, so here also it may occur. So if I am substituting epsilon over here, so what happened and not over here? So what happened? The grammar would be like A, B and C. So again I am getting this two new grammar. So here if I am substituting an epsilon, so here also I can even substitute epsilon in both the A's. If I am substituting epsilon in both the A's, I may get a new production BC. Okay, so with this combination I have done all the substitution. Now I am going for the next production. So here I have an A. So instead of this place, if I am just substituting an epsilon, I will be getting BC. So already I have written BC over here. So again, so now let me make it non-clear. So now we have this new production. So here in this place, if I am substituting epsilon over here, again I will be getting BC, so which is already I have written. Okay, fine. So let me check the next production, that is A gives small a, capital A, and here if I am substituting epsilon over here, I may get small a simply. So simply we can write the small a. Okay, fine. And with the B production I had to be C. So B in B production actually I have B, capital B, and I need to remove this epsilon production, which I will be doing it after a few minutes. Then comes my capital C production, which gives small c. So so all my A's I have substitute epsilon for all my non-terminal A. So somehow or other I have handled it. Now let's handle the B. So let me make it all like non-color. Now for B, if I am substituting epsilon, so I can substitute epsilon over here. So if I am substituting epsilon over here, so what my new production would look like is A and C. A and capital C. Again, so there are no more B's over here, so I make it as an no color. Again I can substitute epsilon in this particular B. If I am substituting epsilon in this particular B, then I will be getting a new production AC, which is not in this combination. So let me write it as AC, and I have handled it. Now here again for this B, if I am substituting epsilon, I will be getting AC, which is I have already written. And let me make it as normal. So again for this B, if I am substituting epsilon, I will be getting another production like simply C, so which is not in this production grammar. So I am just including it. Okay, I am getting it C. Okay, no color. So there are no more B's to be checked, but and here there are no B's were there, but here I have a B. So in this place, if I am substituting epsilon, I may get only a small b, so that has been handled. So all my other grammar were not handled. Okay, fine. So now you can see that while handling substituting epsilon for my B production, I got these three new production where I have A. So already I have my there is a concept that A has epsilon. So A has epsilon means there may be chance that I may omitting this production. So better what we can do this, we should handle substitute epsilon and see whether we are getting a new production. If I am substituting an epsilon over here for this A, I will be getting AC. AC is already there, so no issue. If I am substituting to both A's, I may get C, which is already there. Again, if I am substituting epsilon over there, I will be getting C, which is already there. So no problem, I am not getting any new production, but anyway it is better to check all the production, because we are going to remove an symbol, a terminal out of my grammar. If I am going to remove the terminal out of my grammar, I need to be very much sure that I should not miss any of the production. So, in this way recursively you have to check it and make it confirm that you have written all the derivative out of this epsilon, and this will give you the correct answer for elimination of null production. I hope you understand this concept. The next concept is elimination of unit production. The elimination of unit production is quite very simple actually. So, what is said to be an unit production is that if a non-terminal gives another single non-terminal, that is a capital letter gives a capital letter, for those who doesn't understand what is non-terminal, only that kind of production is said to be a unit production. If this is the case, whatever the B production is, you just substitute a value into it. So, in such a way that we can remove this kind of unit production. And why we need to remove this unit production is only to remove the redundancy of a grammar. So, you know very well why we are studying this context free grammar is that this context free grammar is one of the crucial step in a compiler design. So, for all the programming language what you are studying in your curriculum or in your lifetime, there is a need of a compiler which will literally compile your program. So, for compiling that kind of your programming language, all the compiler will be converted into certain type of grammar. From the grammar only all the other phases will be start executing it. So, at that time, to removal of these kind of redundancy information, these steps were used in your compiler design. So, only these steps were you are learning these steps. So, let us see a very simple unit production elimination. So, here you can see a grammar. So, in this grammar, this S gives Y, this is a unit production, and X gives S, this is a unit production. So, we need to remove these two unit production. It is very simple. So, let me copy this. So, what I have to do, instead of simply Y, I need to copy the entire content of Y, which is BY and B, and in the place of Y you paste it. That is, you need to write it. Similarly, X gives S means instead of this S you write the entire thing and just paste it, copy, write it, rewrite it, that's it. This is your solution. So, I hope you understand this is very simply. From the grammar you just identify that a non-terminal gives a non-terminal kind of grammar, and you just substitute the value over to it and you will be getting this grammar, and this is said to be an elimination of unit production. See, here I have another example. So, here what are the unit production is B gives C is an unit production, C gives D is an unit production. Okay, as it was, okay. This is an unit production, where these are all not the unit production because this is a terminal, it is a very legal production. So, these we need to be rectified. So, what we have to do? So, in my solution box, let me copy it. So, B gives C. What is C actually? C gives D actually. So, what is C gives D? D is B. So, let me copy paste it here. So, this one is here. Then C gives D here. So, here, that's it. So, here you have the entire answer. So, this is how you can eliminate the unit production easily. So, this is quite an easy task. Next is a very crucial task, but a very important task, elimination of useless production. Elimination of useless production, that is useless symbol. In a grammar, a symbol is said to be useless only because of these two conditions, that is if it is a non-generative symbol or if it is a non-reachable symbol. A non-terminal is said to be useless only if it is not generating any symbols, that is if it is not generating any terminal, that is it is not generating any small letters, for those who doesn't understand these things. So, that is said to be a non-generative symbol, and if a non-terminal is not reachable from its start state, it is said to be a useless symbol. So, the non-terminal which does not generate a terminal is said to be a non-generative, and a non-terminal which cannot be reached from the start grammar is said to be a non-reachable symbol. So, for a given grammar you need to identify this and remove it, and you will be getting some grammar that is your final grammar, elimination of grammar. So first one, we have some grammar something like this. First we will find who are all like non generative symbol. So here you can see that, let me copy paste it. So here, how to find generative means a grammar should give some terminal. See here, A gives some terminal CD, no problem, and B gives a combination of terminal and non-terminal. Okay, let it have it here, we will conclude it. Whereas capital C gives DC, that is a non-terminal. Fine. So now, if in your grammar you can able to see that for this I need to substitute capital B. For this I need to substitute only capital B. So whereas again if I am substituting capital B, it will be again AB. So for example, if I am taking this, if I am having some substitution, B gives AB, again for B if I need to substitute something which is again will be like AB only. So A, B, and it goes on. So even in infinite way you can't able to find the value of B. Am I right? That means that it doesn't generate any terminal. It is a non-generative grammar. So what we can do, B is not a generative grammar. So we can eliminate capital B. So what you have to do, you eliminate that from the grammar. As we are eliminating B, wherever B, capital B comes, we can eliminate. So here we have a production something with B, you just eliminate it. So we have eliminated the useless symbol, that is a non-generative symbol. Second thing, what you have to do, so this is my elimination. So let me copy my elimination. So here again, so these part are like eliminated. This part is eliminated and this grammar has been eliminated. Now what I have to do is that I need to eliminate a non-reachable symbol. So whatever grammar you write, you will be starting from your start symbol. So from the start symbol you should able to reach all the non-terminals. For example, from S you can able to reach S, okay fine. From S you can able to reach A, okay fine. So for A you can write. But do you think in any way can you able to reach C? Even for A there is no substitution for capital C. It means that even though you have a grammar for capital C, no way you can able to reach it or you can able to substitute it. It is an unwanted production in your grammar. So what you do? Simply eliminate it. So finally what is my answer? So actually this grammar have literally like four productions, not 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 production. And because of these kind of removal of this useless symbol, now it has literally 3 production. 3 unwanted production has been eliminated. So in this way we can eliminate the useless symbol. So let me have another example. So it's quite a big example. S gives capital A, B, C, these things and so on. So now I am just going to eliminate only the useless symbol. I am not going to eliminate any unit production or epsilon and all. We will just solve this problem for useless symbol elimination. So what happened here? Let's see how to eliminate useless symbol for this given example. So here we are going to eliminate simply the useless symbol, because you can see that there were like a unit production thing and all. We are not doing it now. We will try to eliminate the useful symbol. So the first thing is that let me copy paste it here. So we need to identify the non-generative symbol. So as I specified, a non-generative symbol are those one which has to give some terminal. So already in the last example also I want to tell you something. So here while checking for non-generative, even the start symbol is not giving any non-terminals. If that is the case, you should not simply eliminate the start symbol grammar and all small start grammar. By substituting this A value will become like A, B, C and D. So that is generating a terminal. So you should not simply eliminate the start grammar and all. While eliminating any grammar, you should be very sure that even through substitution you are not getting any production only, you should eliminate it. Okay, here we can see that. So, here the grammar A doesn't gives any non-terminal, but you can see that the grammar A gives a terminal B. Grammar A gives a terminal B. So, what happened? Obviously, this grammar B gives some terminal BB. So, B is generative. So, through unit production, if I am just substituting over here, A will be also becomes generative. Am I right? So, let me, so that A is also generative. Now, for C, you can see that we have a generative AA, and for D, you can see there is no any generative, but I am having capital C. So, in some cases what happen, if I am having some production like I may for this capital C, if I am substituting this two A's, then this becomes a generative obviously, because C is generative. So, D may also be generative while substitution. So, we can't eliminate simply D because there is no generative. So, likewise these two grammar, that is A grammar, our A grammar and this is D grammar, is, even though they are not generative on its own, it is generative by it other productions. It is generative if I am substituting the value of B over here. This will become generative if I am substituting the value of C over here. So, that we can't eliminate those symbol. And S is, even though it is not generative, A is generative, B is generative and C is generative. So, obviously S is also generative. So, there is no elimination is being required. Now, let us try to find any non-reachable symbol is there. So, if I am checking for non-reachability, from start grammar I can reach A, from start grammar I can reach B, from start grammar I can reach C, okay, fine. But whether I can reach D, D can be reachable from C, D can be reachable from C, C can be reachable from S. So, D is also reachable. So, all are very much important. So, what is the case? So, this is the case that this is my solution. So, this is my entire solution. There is no elimination at all required. Okay. So, here I have eliminated only the useless symbol. Now, let me try to eliminate the same grammar, elimination of all. Let me take a useless symbol, elimination of null, comma unit and useless symbol, something like that. Let me try, and I with the same problem, and let us see. So, you can see here there is no null production. So, there is no null production. So, we will leave it off. With respect to unit symbol, yeah, I have like let me delete these things and all. Okay, let me make it quite big. So, what happened? The first point is no null production. Okay, fine. There is no null production in my entire grammar. Then with unit production, I can see that A, B, C is here, here B is here. So, these are all like my unit candidate. This one, and this one. These are all my unit candidate. So, for B, I can substitute the entire thing. So, control C, and here instead of this I have substituted. For this A, B and C, the entire A, the entire B and the entire C can be substituted. For D, again this only I will be substituting. So, this is not required. So, we can this is not required, because anyway whatever it is D, this is good big thing. So, this is my production. And now check for the non-generative. A is generative, B is generative, C is generative, D is generative if you substitute the value of C. So, all are generative. When I am checking for reachability, S is reachable through A, B and D also. So, it is not reaching C, where D is Here were the case. From S I can reach A, from S I can reach B, from S I can reach D. Now you see whether C is reachable. Whether you see C is reachable. You can see here C is not all reachable from C is reachable from D. From D C is reachable. So all are reachable. So we are not eliminating any grammar, and that's how my actual simplified grammar will look like. You can see only with elimination the same grammar only will have unit if I am just doing all the simplification, this is how my simplified Pakka grammar will look like. Hope you understand the concept. So while in the exam or in whatever the case you write a concepts you are using, while going for simplification, better first check for null production and eliminate it, then check for unit production and eliminate it, then check for useless symbol and eliminate it. Most of the time while we try to solve the problem in this order, we will be getting the correct answers, and thank you.